Welcome back, everybody. So this deep dive, we're going to look at something a little closer to home this time.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. We're going to be looking at the 2023 to 2024 annual report for Computer Friendly.
Okay, great.
And you're probably thinking, Computer Friendly, what is that?
Yeah, tell me more.
So they're a charity based in St Albans, and
Yeah.
they do a lot of amazing work supporting social inclusion and education through IT services.
IT services.
Yeah, so really helping people who need it most,
Mhm.
people who might be facing, financial hardship or are refugees,
Right, that's great.
asylum seekers, things like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and so what's really interesting about Computer Friendly is they have this kind of three-pronged approach.
Three-pronged.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they do drop-in sessions,
Okay,
they run courses,
right.
and they refurbish devices.
Got it. Okay.
And they have some amazing stories and some really impressive achievements in this report.
Oh, I bet.
Just to give you an idea, like since 2021, they've helped 718 people get access to devices.
Wow.
Like that is incredible.
That's amazing, yeah.
Right. And I mean, that's just like the tip of the iceberg.
So I'm curious, what are some of the sort of individual stories that you've come across in this report?
Well, one that really stood out to me was there's this quote from an asylum seeker who received a laptop.
Oh, wow.
And he said, "I will use this laptop to increase my knowledge, and I am very grateful for the opportunity."
That's powerful.
And you just really see like how transformative that is.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be life-changing.
It is. It is. And there's another one about a student who sees a laptop as like the key to unlocking his dreams.
Oh, wow.
It just really makes you realize the impact, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Technology is so fundamental to so much of what we do these days.
And especially for people from, disadvantaged backgrounds or people facing particular challenges,
Absolutely.
it can be a game changer.
So what are some of the things that Computer Friendly are doing to make sure that they are reaching those most vulnerable people?
So one thing that really jumped out at me was they talked about a surge in attendance at their drop-in session.
Oh, wow.
And this particularly after they expanded to 10 locations across the district.
So having that physical presence is key.
Yeah, it seems to be really important, particularly places like the Harpenden Salvation Army
Okay.
and Marshallswick Baptist Free Church. They're really dustling.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So they're really, getting people through the door.
That's great. But presumably not everybody needs the same level of support, right? Some people might be quite confident with the basics of using a computer, whereas other people might need a little bit more help.
Absolutely, and that's where their courses and workshops come in.
Okay.
So they offer things like, basic device usage,
Right.
specific software training,
Hmm.
really trying to cater to different levels of need. And what's really interesting is that although their drop-ins are booming,
Right.
course participation actually dipped slightly compared to last year.
Oh, that's interesting. Why do you think that is?
That's a really good question. And it's something that they kind of ponder in the report as well.
Yeah.
Is it that people are getting more comfortable with the basics at drop-ins and they're needing something more specialized?
Mm.
Or maybe there's a shift towards individual learning.
Mm.
People are using online resources more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. But it's something they're definitely going to need to monitor.
It's something to look into.
Yeah.
And speaking of tailoring support to individual needs, you mentioned earlier that Computer Friendly does device refurbishment as well.
Yes.
How does that work?
So it's an amazing program.
Okay.
Like, can you believe they've distributed 718 devices
Wow.
through this program? It's incredible.
And who are they distributing these devices to?
It's a real range.
Okay.
They're giving them to schools.
Right.
They're giving them to probation services,
Wow.
churches,
Okay.
organizations that are supporting refugees and asylum seekers.
So really kind of a broad range of
Yeah.
people who need it.
Absolutely. They're really trying to meet diverse needs.
I'm sure it makes a huge difference to those people receiving the devices. But, I mean, presumably this kind of work can't be done in isolation, right?
Yeah.
Computer Friendly must rely on partnerships with other organizations.
Oh, absolutely. Partnerships are key.
Okay.
And they work with a whole range of partners. The report mentions St. Albans District Council,
Right.
Harpenden Trust, even Islamic community centers.
Wow. That's massive.
And what's really cool is they have this partnership with the St. Albans District Council on navigating the NHS app.
Oh, wow. So helping people to access digital healthcare.
Exactly. And through this partnership, they've helped 42 people access digital healthcare services,
That's great.
which, yeah, that's directly impacting well-being,
Yeah, that's really fantastic.
right? And of course, we can't forget the volunteers They're the heart of computer friendly.
Yeah, absolutely.
57 individuals
Mm-hmm.
giving their time. It's amazing.
57. What are they doing?
Everything. They're tutors.
Right.
They're helpers. They're bookkeepers.
Oh.
Marketers. They have all these different roles.
So they've got a whole team of people kind of in the background making sure everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, and even, Diana Rose, the volunteer coordinator,
Yeah.
she deserves a shout out as well.
Absolutely. It's the people that make these organizations work, right?
Yeah, and I'm just always so impressed by the dedication of volunteers.
So it sounds like Computer Friendly is doing some amazing work, but what about the financial side of things? How sustainable is all of this?
That's a great question. So the report actually mentions they have a strong financial position,
Okay.
and they have a really diversified income stream. So their donations are up this year.
Great.
They have income from course fees and equipment sales.
Okay, so it sounds like they've got lots of different ways of bringing money in.
Exactly, which I think, suggests resilience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's really reassuring is they have enough reserves to cover several years of expenses,
That's reassuring.
which speaks to their responsible management
Yeah.
and planning for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just about today. It's about making sure that they can continue this vital work for years to come.
Exactly. And it seems like they're really well positioned to do that.
So what's next for Computer Friendly? What are their plans for the future?
Well, they're not stopping there.
Okay.
They're planning to double down on those successful drop-ins. They want to strengthen partnerships, and they want to really stay adaptable
Okay.
to the community's evolving needs.
So what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, they're really aware of things like the ongoing refugee and asylum seeker situation. So they want to be ready to support those individuals as well.
And the report specifically mentioned that requests for devices haven't actually stopped.
Right.
They might be a little slower than previous years,
Okay.
but the need is still there.
It's still there, and it's growing in some areas,
Absolutely.
particularly with things like, the financial crisis that we're seeing.
Yeah, it really reinforces how vital Computer Friendly's work is. Absolutely. I mean, technology is essential for so many things these days.
It is.
Whether it's searching for jobs, applying for assistance, connecting with loved ones.
All of that. It's a lifeline.
It is. It's a lifeline. And that's where I think Computer Friendly's commitment to sustainability really shines.
Okay.
They've got this diversified funding model,
Mm-hmm.
but they've also cultivated this culture of resourcefulness.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they're really encouraging device donations. They're welcoming new volunteers. They're making the most of the resources that they have.
It's interesting as well how they sort of weave in that human element.
Yeah.
They don't just talk about numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They actually highlight the stories of the people that they've helped.
Well, I think that's really important, right? Because it's easy to get lost in the statistics.
Yeah,
But ultimately, this work is about people.
it is. It is. And, that quote that we talked about earlier from the asylum seeker.
Yeah.
She said, getting a computer made her feel like I'm part of society again.
Wow.
And it wasn't just about the device itself. It was that connection,
Mm-hmm.
that sense of belonging that it provided.
Absolutely. I think technology can be really powerful in terms of bridging social gaps.
Yeah, and it's not just about handing out devices.
No.
It's about equipping people with the skills
Yes,
to use them effectively.
exactly. And that's where those courses and workshops come in.
So what specific skills are they focusing on in these courses?
Well, they offer a pretty wide range, actually.
Oh.
Everything from basic computer literacy
Mhm.
to more specialized software training.
Right.
One that really stood out to me was their Digital Skills for Job Seekers program.
Oh, tell me about that.
So it goes beyond just, teaching how to write a resume or search for jobs online.
Okay.
They actually help participants develop critical thinking skills,
Wow.
digital communication etiquette,
Interest.
even online safety awareness.
So it's really comprehensive,
It is. It's about empowering them to confidently navigate the digital job market.
which is so important these days.
Absolutely. I mean, so much of our lives are lived online now.
Yeah.
So having those skills is essential.
And it seems to be paying off.
Yeah.
The report highlights several success stories of participants finding employment after completing the course.
That's fantastic.
It's really a testament to the impact.
It is. It is, but it also raises a question, I think.
Okay.
How do we actually measure the broader social impact
Right.
of initiatives like this? Because it's not always easy to quantify, is it?
No. How do you capture those ripple effects
Yeah.
on families, communities, society as a whole?
Well, I think it starts with recognizing that digital inclusion
Hmm.
isn't just about technology. It's
Yeah.
about opportunity,
Right.
empowerment,
Mm-hmm.
social equity.
It's about leveling the playing field
Exactly.
and giving everyone a fair shot.
Precisely, and I think that's what computer-friendly is doing.
Mm.
They're not just bridging the digital divide, they're building a more inclusive and equitable society.
Their dedication is truly remarkable. But as we delve further into their plans for the future,
Yeah.
I can't help but wonder, what challenges do they anticipate?
Well, one of the things they acknowledge in the report,
Okay.
that the landscape is constantly changing.
Right.
New technologies emerge.
Mm-hmm.
Digital needs evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And, social challenges persist.
So how do they prepare for that?
Well, one key strategy is their focus on continuous learning and adaptation.
Okay.
So they're constantly evaluating their programs,
Mm-hmm.
seeking feedback,
Mm.
exploring new ways to meet evolving community needs.
It's a proactive approach.
It is. They're not just reacting to change.
Yeah.
They're anticipating it.
Which is crucial for that long-term sustainability.
Absolutely.
And it also ties into their commitment to strengthening partnerships.
Yeah, because they recognize they can't do it alone.
They need to collaborate,
Yeah.
share resources, leverage collective expertise.
Exactly. It's about fostering a community-driven approach to digital inclusion.
It sounds like they've got a really solid plan in place.
I think they do, but I think ultimately their greatest strength lies in something less tangible.
Okay, what's that?
Their commitment to the human element.
Yeah.
It's about empathy, understanding,
Mm-hmm.
building genuine connections.
It's about seeing the individual behind the need
Exactly.
and empowering them to reach their full potential.
And that's what makes Computer Friendly's work so inspiring.
It really is inspiring. And, it's amazing how they manage to balance
Yeah.
that practical side,
Yeah.
providing the devices,
Mm.
teaching the skills with that personal touch,
Yeah.
that human-centered approach.
It's what makes them stand out, I think.
It does.
They get that technology's a tool,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the human connection, the empathy,
Yeah.
the belief in someone's potential. That's what makes the difference.
And the report's filled with these stories
Yeah.
that really illustrate this. And,
Mm.
we keep coming back to that quote from the asylum seeker. She said, receiving the computer made her feel so happy.
It's more than just the device, isn't it?
It's so much more than that.
It's about being welcomed, being included.
Yeah, and I think that just highlights how technology can open doors
Mm-hmm.
to opportunities that might otherwise be inaccessible.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to that question we posed earlier.
Okay.
What are the real costs of digital exclusion?
In today's world.
Yeah, because it's not just about missing out on the latest gadgets or social media trends, is it?
No, it's much bigger than that.
It's about being excluded from fundamental aspects of modern life.
It's about, not being able to apply for jobs online
Exactly.
or access vital health information or connect with loved ones remotely.
Yeah, and those consequences can be really far-reaching.
They impact, individuals, families, entire communities.
It's a real issue, so I think the question is, what responsibility do we have to bridge this divide?
That's a big question.
It is a big question, but it's one we all need to grapple with, I think.
It is. And it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of the issue.
Yeah.
But even small actions can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Whether it's supporting organizations like Computer Friendly,
Mm-hmm.
donating old devices,
Yeah.
or even just being more patient,
Yeah.
helpful with those who might be struggling with technology.
We can all do our bit.
We can.
Every little bit counts.
It does, and I think that's a really hopeful message to end on.
It is. We can create a world where technology is a tool for empowerment and connection.
Rather than a source of division and inequality.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the inspiring work of Computer Friendly.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope this has given you some food for thought and maybe even inspired you to take action.
What can people do if they want to get involved?
Well, check out Computer Friendly's website.
Mm-hmm.
They've got all the information there about how you can donate,
Yeah.
volunteer,
Great.
get involved in their work.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like they're doing some truly remarkable work.
They are. And it's a real testament to the power of community and the impact that we can have when we come together.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, that's it for this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.